Hello, everybody. Welcome to our webinar. So excited. I think I'm going to go ahead and let everyone get on. I'm going to stream this and then I'll bring our presenters on, okay, if that's all right with everyone. While you guys are rolling in, though, I would love to know where you're tuning in from. Let us know. City, state, province, country. And let us know as well if you've also made the other Slay Her Way webinar series. This is our second one. If you are coming back for number 2, we'd love to acknowledge you for that. If not, it is on my YouTube channel, The Gold Digger Girl. You can find it on there very easily. And you can go back and watch that when we had a really great chat, which we will today as well. So I'm going to go ahead and stream this into Gold Digging Boss Babes. So if you have any boss babes you'd like to tag that didn't get this invitation, please do, because this will be a very enlightening, important, awesome discussion. All right, so we're live on Facebook. Welcome, everyone. My name is Kimberly Olson, also known as the Gold Digger Girl, and I'm going to be finding my girls on here and promoting them to panelists. I found Alicia, and then I have Vanette on here. All right, we're getting everybody on, and then I'll keep an eye out. We have one more special guest coming on, so we'll get her on here in a second. And I think, do I have to ask to unmute? Do I have to unmute you guys? Is there some special thing? Oh, there you are, Vanette. Hi, I see your face. What's up? And Alicia is making her way over here as well. We are so excited to have you guys on and have this discussion. She's like, okay, where's my face? Hi, guys. How are you?
Good.
Yay! So excited. Happy Thursday. Hi, Vanette.
I got the unmute working. We're good.
I know. Yeah, with Zoom, you just never know. I was like, I actually haven't done StreamYard with more than just one other person. So we'll have to try that next time and see. But this is great because we have some of you on here with us in the webinar, and we're also streaming this on Facebook. So it's nice to be able to hit people where they're at in different avenues. So good to see your smiling faces. Yes, we need more smiles today, don't we? We need more smiles today. Can I get an amen? So we realize that there's a lot going on in the world, and we always are so aligned, the three of us, that we said, let's do something. And I'm going to bring Lindsay on as well, that to say, let's do something good. Let's do something good. Let's just talk about how we can make a difference and how we can show up different. So we're so glad that you guys are drawn to that and you guys want to make a difference in your own way as well. So I'll get Lindsay on here and then I'm going to introduce each of you. So in the chat, what I want you guys to do is share with us where you're tuning in from and share with us one word that you would like to just kind of meditate on throughout this time together. Hi, Lindsay. What's up, girl? There she is. Okay, special guest, Lindsay, rolling in. She's had a busy day, mom life, and she's here. She's coaching. She's running her household, and she's here to spend some time with us. So thank you, Lindsay. So I want y'all to...
Just gotta say it. I've missed everybody.
I know. We all need like an in-person retreat as soon as COVID goes down. So I want you guys to pick a word that is going to be your power word, where you take your power back. Okay. So it doesn't have to be like hustle, but like a power word. Like if you were in yoga class and they're like, okay, set your intention for the class. I want you guys to set an intention right now and share your word in the chat. Okay. So let us know where you're tuning in from, but we also want to know what's like a word that you can just grab onto and say, okay, like I do have power. I can take back control. And I am in the driver's seat of my own life. Okay. So share that in the comments. We're streaming on Gold Digging Boss Babes as well. So I'm keeping an eye on the comments there for you guys. Okay. So to start, because I know we have some new faces for some of those in the audience, I would love for you to each introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are, how long you've been an entrepreneur. And I would love to talk, we'll get into what we're talking about today as far as slaying her way and building your business with intention. But first, just introduce yourself. So Vanette, let's start with you if you don't mind.
Absolutely. And hi, everybody. I'm watching all these words go by and I'm like, oh, these are so good. Mm-hmm. So good, so good. And I think, I'm sitting here, I'm like, what's my word? I think my word is today or now. Mm-hmm. It's just grabbing where you are in that moment and saying, no more waiting, just do it. Just do it. And I don't want to go at just do it because whatever. But it's right now. Dang it. So I'm Vanette Grover. I am from rural Northeast Iowa. I'm a farm wife, mom of 3 young adult children, including my special girl, Breton, who's my oldest. So if you ever see or take a little gander at my Facebook page, you'll see Brett and I have started doing lots of live videos together from the Grover luxury resort and pool out here in the middle of farm country.
I
We
love
just
it.
like to tell jokes and send a little message, and it's been really good for the two of us. So a little hint for everyone before I go too far: bring whatever you got. We knew when that girl was born that someday we'd figure out the whole gifts of everything. And I struggled with that for a long time as a mom. And now I see them every day, left and right, up and down.
Mhm.
So just be who you are. But so I've been in the business about 4 years. I'm one of those folks that went from hot mess to blessed, from sad and sorry to woohoo, excited and living life again. And I guess I'm in the health and wellness area, as well as a business and life coach, and all just whatever I want to do. I've learned that whatever I want to create, I can create. And that is such a gift when you allow yourself the freedom to know that you are meant to impact others and you can create whatever you dang well choose. So
I love that.
I'll
And
stop there.
I love Breton, and my daughters love Breton. Like, it's the cutest thing. They like watch her and they like talk to her. And I'm like, she can't hear you, but it's fine. So they leave her little videos in Messenger. It's so funny. But and one of the things why I think it's important that you're a huge part of this discussion is I feel like you push us to level up a bit as far as like owning that. Like, you get to choose and you get to show up, and you need to show up and be aligned, or you're going to feel that disconnect. And we're all here for a purpose. So let's do that. And I think that's, just so important. So thank you. All right. So we have Alicia Wishad. Alicia, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. And kind of going with Vanette's thing on the whole word thing. And we all know that Alicia is OCD about even numbers. So I have two. So my words are grace and action, because you have to give yourself grace when things get rough. And no matter what, you always have to be taking action, no matter how imperfect it is. So I am a mother to 3 boys. I am also a dog mom, and he is a boy. And I have my husband, who is a boy. So I am completely and utterly surrounded by boys during COVID and quarantine, and it's been great. But love them to pieces. I have 2 teenagers and a 9-year-old. My 9-year-old is the one that typically everybody sees a lot of. He loves to video bomb me and get in on my pictures, and he has informed me that he will be a YouTuber one day. So I said, whatever you would like, honey. He's just, they're what I wake up for every single day, why I push myself as hard as I do every single day. I am an entrepreneur, actually, of 8.5 years. About 10 years ago, I went back to school and went to college. I got my, and this is the part that I very rarely share, but I'm super smart. I have my associate's degree in organizational management. I have my bachelor's degree in accounting, and I have my master's in business administration with a specialization in entrepreneurship. My husband and I have had and owned and operated a cleaning company for 8.5 years together. And for about just about 4 years ago, I had realized like that was his passion, that was his thing, and he loved it. And I loved to be able to support him, but I felt that I had a different purpose. And so I ended up getting into networking. I actually started in the skincare industry and have recently this year moved on to health and wellness, which I absolutely love it because it's like the whole lifestyle, and I love coaching with you and doing my own coaching now. And I'm a very, very, very big, huge mental health advocate, as I've shared my story with you on your podcast, and I just love helping and loving on others.
Aw, I love it. It's great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And I love how you let people just be themselves. Like, you're the epitome of just be yourself. If you want bright pink hair and you want to talk about the struggles you've had, then have bright pink hair and talk about the struggles. And I can't tell you how many people have said, man, like, I love how real Alicia is, and that is giving other people permission to just be themselves, you know? So kudos to you and your boy mom house. And Lindsay Sewell, she is coming in hot here for our webinar today. And why don't you share, because you do a lot of different things too, like these ladies, why don't you share what you do and how you got into entrepreneurship?
So first of all, I got to apologize if you guys hear the saw in the background. The neighbors are building a house and they're getting their hardy plank today. And it's like right outside my window. So just ignore that. As Kimberly said, my name is Lindsay Sewell. I got to share my word though first with you because it is courageous. And it comes to me from a quote that I recently heard by Michael Hyatt, which is confidence and courage look the same on the outside. So a lot of times when and I'll talk about this a little bit, I coach now and I talk to my coaching clients and they're like, well, I just need to feel more confident before I can do this thing. And I want to remind you that the confidence will come from the doing of the thing.
Chills.
You need the 5 seconds of insane courage to start doing it. So that is my word. I'm like, it just came to me. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to bring that one to this today. And honestly, it took me a lot of courage to get into entrepreneurship because I had a great corporate job. I have a master's in transportation. So I was working for a rail car company and I was miserable because I was not home with my babies. You can probably see my pictures back there and the llama they got me for my birthday. And I didn't get to see them. I missed them terribly. And so I had to take a very courageous step into entrepreneurship to be home with them and went from running an in-home boutique selling clothes to realizing that I'm really not a fashionista, guys. Like this t-shirt is about as good as it gets. And found my way into network marketing and affiliate marketing, met Kimberly, really started to learn about attraction marketing, and then finding my passion in coaching and really probably pretty soon starting to do some course creation and just impacting people who have a great impact on other people. That is really, really where my heart is focused. And it's been such a joy. Entrepreneurship was a huge struggle when I started. And now it like Vanette said, it feels like such a blessing to be able to do this, be home with my kids, impact other people and help other people learn how to do that for themselves and take that leap.
Oh, so good. I already am like, okay, webinar done. Like I've been impacted. Are you guys good? Because wow, thank you so much. That's awesome. I love it. I think most of you know me, but if not, if someone, invited you to this, I've been an entrepreneur for 3.5 years. So gosh, I'm like the baby in the group. But I, like Lindsay said, I was missing all my kiddo stuff. So they were little, they were 1 and 2 when I started. And I would FaceTime into doctor's appointments, and I'll never forget the pediatrician was like, "You're like the most committed mom ever." And I'm like, "No, I'm not. I suck because I'm not in the room with my little baby, And it was November of 2017 when I started doing live videos because I sent Elise off to daycare with a fever because I was on commission and I couldn't miss it. And we were in so much debt. My husband, he couldn't take off work. He was like out of town or something. And I literally was like, if I miss work, that money is our groceries. And we had cut up all our credit cards. So there was like, what do you do? And I remember dropping her off, hoping that they didn't notice. And I get to my desk at work and just sobbed and sobbed and sobbed. And I was like, I'm done. I'm done being the mom who is failing. And I'm done feeling like crap. And I'm done choosing between my baby, who I should be home with, and this job that I don't even like. And if you watch my journey, guess when I went crazy? It was November of 2017. I started doing lives every week, started doing Facebook groups. And like Lindsay said, those 5 seconds of feeling like that, having to be courageous, that's all I was doing was just failing forward. And, I overcame alcohol abuse and all of that. And so I was able to really listen to what God wanted me to do, start taking those steps and just blindly trusting, and it all just the abundance and being able to quit my job, get out of debt. And now I can be home with them and can take them to doctor's appointments and be there with you guys as well. So I think we all have a lot in common that all of this, I feel like entrepreneurship allows you to become the person that you are supposed to be. And you don't get that from clocking into a 9 to 5 that you don't love. You get it through the hustle and the heartache and the ups and downs and all the trials and tribulations of being an entrepreneur. So I've definitely experienced that. And I put love as my word. And I always, when I hear that, like love is all, like, not like, John Lennon, but I feel as though, and and I've had a lot of conversations around this right now, like now more than ever, when you do get that message from someone, or someone hates on you, or even like your spouse is picking a fight with you and you're like, what the heck? Or kids are just at each other's throats because they're home. It's all projection. It's all projection. Everybody is just projecting the angst and the anxiety and the stress and the turmoil of everything going on in the world. And if you're an empath and you feel things, it's even harder, right? So just remember, when people are interacting with you, it's not you. It's never you. It's something going on with them. And to say, okay, let me just have a little discernment here, and let me see what I can do to extend some grace. Like you had said, Alicia, I love that word. And I learn it from you all every single day for that. It's just extend grace, guys, extend grace right now. And that's why we wanted to do this webinar. So we'll let it just kind of be discussion. Feel free to jump in at any time, ladies. So I thought it would be helpful if we talked about today, we're talking about slay her way. And what that means is you get to build a business in a way that you want to, in a way that feels good to you. And a lot of you are being told by your upline, other trainers, just, the network marketing industry as a whole. And this can translate to any business, right? Like I get LinkedIn messages every day from people not in network marketing, but to say, I want to build my business in a different way. So any of you want to jump in and when you started, where you were not building your business in a way that felt genuine to you, where you were like,
from day one. Well, and that's the thing. So as far as like work, the thing is that my predominant job in corporate America was a bill collector. I got to call people and like convince them to pay their bills. I even dabbled in insurance for a brief moment, and that was something that it absolutely made me miserable, because I felt like I was always convincing people, like with the insurance, it was the part of I was convincing them that they needed something that I didn't even believe that they really needed. Or with the bill collections, it was just always convincing. And when I got into network marketing, I was looking at the ways that we really built our cleaning company, where I made it loud and clear. Like I wanted to get to know my clients. I wanted to know their kids' names, even if I never saw their kids. I wanted to build relationships, because I work in the cleaning industry. You work with contractors, and like we even had like a contractor who was in the middle, right? We were subcontracted, and we had clients like, why are we even working with him? Why aren't we just working with you? So it was a very big deal about building a relationship. And then I got into network marketing, and it was like, show everybody your product and do this and then get into their DMs and like just ask everybody. And it it went back to that feeling of, I feel like I'm trying to convince people all the time. Like I'm convincing them that they need their product. And mind you, again, I was in skincare. So then I started getting a lot of message about, oh, Alicia says that you have to put the lotion on the skin again. And it felt very icky, and it made it even tougher to show up every single day, because then you were just getting compared to like you would see other spammy people and be like, I don't want to be like that. And, and I would even do the whole, I'm not selling, I'm sharing. And then I met you and learned attraction marketing, right? And then I basically went back to all my previous customers and said, I'm so sorry, because I was still selling and I wasn't just sharing. I learned through you and other coaches and like Lindsay, and I've learned from Vanette, like there is a certain way to show up and tell your story and share your story and your truth. And that's actually where you do the connection, and that's where you can grow your business and for the long term, not just the short term.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that so much. And it is that shifting from convincing to let's talk about you and what's going on with you as well.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, I just looked at the comments, and somebody on there said, I felt like a square peg in a round hole. And I'll tell you what, one of the things that I like to say to people is I'm kind of for the misfits and the rebels. Like I am the person who breaks all the rules, right? I'm being told, go out and be like a searchlight, searching for everybody. And just like Alicia said, that wasn't working for me. And it wasn't until I really, and one of my favorite marketing like gurus is Seth Godin, who's like, you know, the guy. But one of the concepts that he talks about is permission marketing. And that really resonated with me, because when instead of going out and searching for people that I can chase after, when I build communities of people who offer me the permission to talk to them over and over and over again about what I have, what I love, and how I can help them, it completely changed the game. And if you guys are like, what do you mean by communities? I'm talking email lists, Facebook groups, your Facebook profile, wherever you're building a group of people that you can talk to and you can show what you stand for, what you care about. And you're not individually all up in their inboxes. Like Alicia's like, I was just like, oh my God, I really was trying to sell you.
Sorry about that.
And when you get people raising their hand and giving you permission, saying, yes, I want to know more about that. Yes, I want to hear from you. Then it changes the game. It breaks all the rules of so many of those gurus out there. But that to me was what resonated most and really changed the business and made it feel authentic in a way and it grew. That's when it started to take off, is when people were giving permission to hear from me and they really wanted it.
Isn't that funny? Like when you stopped doing what was supposed to help you grow and you saw others doing, and then you said, no, I'm going to do what feels better to me, and then actually stop selling to people. So it's so counterintuitive. And then you started offering value and build your community. And then your sales grew. I mean, all of you, every single one of you has reached, top recruiter, top leader, big sales, big teams all of them also building in a way that's really genuine, authentic. So it's not just, these aren't just concepts, you guys, this is like real life. We've all, done it, which is really cool that there is another way. And I think it's important to talk about it because people are still doing it, Vanette, were you going to say something?
Well, I want to bring it back a little bit because I just want everybody to know we've all done it. We've all done the other stuff. You're not alone. We've all done it. And I think when we get started, first of all, some people come in because they're looking for a business. Power to you. That is fantastic. Others of us, not so much. We just wanted to have our problem solved. And, when you then decide to do the business and it starts feeling good because you've helped somebody, and it's okay to feel good because you got your first check. All of that's good. And then all of a sudden we're so excited. And then we listen to what we've been told that, we got to get it out there, and we go crazy. And, holy moly, just know we've all done it. And I remember thinking that I was a marketing major in college, but they never had social media marketing, so that wasn't it. But I remember thinking, oh gosh, I got to market this stuff. And all of a sudden I was acting like I was some multi-million-dollar company myself, that I had to create all this grand stuff to put out there because I didn't want to look like, I knew I didn't want to look like everybody else with all the graphics. But then I'm creating my own, so that makes it different. Baloney. That was a bad idea too. But I just want everybody watching to know it's okay if you've been there. It's okay if you're there now. We've just, it's one of those things. If only I knew then what I know now. Well, we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. And we learn and we tune into things like this and we get ideas to become better. So I just wanted everyone to know it's okay.
Yeah, it is okay. And we have a really good question we'll address too. And I think if you're sitting here listening to us and you're like, this is so different than what I've been told, or I've kind of seen it, but I don't know what that really means, and we can give some specific examples. But when you learn to trust yourself again, to say, how do I feel about this? Like energetically, how do you feel? So really ask yourself that when you send a message to someone, or you're looking like, ooh, who can I connect with in this group and tell them about my thing, and you friend them and you like want to pitch them your thing, right? You're like, oh, like I've had people message me that are like, yeah, you could really, like, I've got some contouring, like I could help you. And I'm like, I didn't ask for contouring, but like, think about it. Like, how does it feel to you? And then if you're wondering like, well, I don't know, what should I do? What should I do? You have got to learn to trust yourself again and say because this is the thing, we're all building our businesses differently. So if we're all building our businesses differently, that means everybody's building their business differently. And that's what this is all about, is you have to figure out your way, your voice, your messaging, how you're going to show up. What does it look like? Like Lindsay said, are you building an email list? Are you doing TikTok videos? Like, what is your thing? Well, we can't tell you because we've all done it different, because there's not one size fits all. And anyone telling you there's one size fits all, which is kind of the problem with the copy paste, is that there is not one size fits all. So that should be a clue. But I'm going to encourage all of you to really listen, get quiet, and ask yourself, how does this feel? Do I like the way I'm building my business? And we're all giving you permission right now to change right now. So if you're like, oh my gosh, like I sent out 100 messages yesterday, because that's what I was told to do, we're in a challenge, and that, cool. Like if that's what you want to do, but ask yourself, how does it feel? And that's going to give you the clues to, okay, maybe I need to shift here and pivot a little bit. So the question was, if any of you want to jump in, I love this question, Michelle. She says, how do you keep up that genuine and authentic self? I've had glimpses, I lost it. Oh, I've had glimpses of true authenticity, then get fearful or something, right? Just what we're talking about. Possibly the responsibility that comes with success. Yes. And we self-sabotage, don't we? And I shrink back. How do I help myself to stay out there, outside of that comfort zone, and be bold and keep going forward?
May I?
Yeah.
Go, Vanette.
Okay. One of the things I've started doing lately is every day, every morning, after I get all my good stuff done, my affirmations, my devotions, all of that, I really focus on these three things: intention, energy, and interest. So I set my intention before I start doing my, whether you call them income producing activities or whatever you may be doing. But am I here to connect, or am I here to convert? Am I here to serve, or am I here to sell? Am I here to listen, or am I here to talk? Am I here to care, or am I here to crap? Where am I? Where am I? Because I want to be on that side of service before I get started. And then I check my energy. If I'm in a mental energy or physical energy even that's off, I don't want to be doing that stuff. I want to be in a good frame of mind, have my energy going. You know, people follow those who are confident in who they are, who show confidence out there. And I'm not going to say who are courageous in who they are, because Lindsay just taught us that. People follow people who have the courage to do that. And many of you have probably gotten messages before where they're like, wow, thank you for having the courage to do that. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you, whatever it may be. But they want people who are real. So check your energy. And even if you're off on your energy, sometimes you can turn that into a positive, as far as if you're doing something on social media. But don't stay in the ick, get to the happy. Show the bridge between, yeah, I was feeling this way. I'll use Facebook as a confessional a lot. I'll be saying, I'll come in, I'll tell you, this is what happened. So I had to get it out, and here I am, but here's what I'm doing to get past it, what you can do too. And then the third one is interest. And bottom line, you've got to be more interested than interesting. You've got to be more interested in them than making it about you and how interesting and great you are. So those are three things I've really started focusing on each day to help me stay in that spot of being real, of being me. So I hope that helps. Lindsay,
Yeah.
Tag team to you.
I love that.
I'll take it. I caught it. One thing that I really love to ask people when we're talking about becoming genuine and authentic is, where is an area where you have a lot of conviction in what you can do and how you can help someone? So if you notice, a lot of times when we start to feel inauthentic or out of alignment is when we're pretending that we're something that we're not. We pretend that we know something that we don't. We pretend that we're good at something, or we've done something that we haven't done, or we don't have a ton of conviction in. So like, if you're not a top recruiter, you probably don't want to be going out there and telling people, hey, here's how to recruit a team of 100 people in a month. You're not going to have conviction. You're not going to show up authentically. If you have a ton of conviction that you are able to help people improve their health and well-being, and you show up and you share that and you talk about that, that passion and that authenticity comes across. And so looking at the areas that you feel very, very convicted in your skills, your abilities, and your value, and playing into those strengths. Because if I'm an 8 at something and I really focus in on getting better at that, and I become a 9 or a 9.5, I only go one step, 1.5 steps better. I'm like a rock star in that area and I stand out. If I'm a 3 at something and I work my tushy off to get to a 6, I still suck. Like I'm still below, like I'm in danger of failing, guys. If you think back to school, like 60% out of 100, you're not doing that great. So focusing in on where your strengths are, it will really help you shine in that genuine, authentic self instead of trying to, there are things that I'm not good at that I'm just like, I delegate that stuff. I delegate that stuff. I pay somebody else to do that stuff, or I put it in the parking lot and I don't worry about it. Like if you can't pay someone to do that stuff right now, but it's more worth your time to play into those strengths and where you have that conviction, and you will stand out that way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. Alicia, were you going to say something?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, this topic, absolutely. And I agree with Lindsay. Like when you're not good at something, be honest with people. Like I really suck at cooking. That's why my husband cooks and cleans, and I'm super lucky for that. So I have a maid. I always see those funny posts where it's like, if you could have a maid or a chef, what would you have? And I'm like, I have both all in one. Super lucky. So I would say, number one, as far as talking about, how did she word it over there? It was how to keep that genuine and authentic self. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Get to a point where you're sharing that piece of you that you don't care what other people, like what their opinion of it is about you. Like my biggest breakthrough was talking about my mental health disorder, and being true to people about how deep it really went. And it was the most vulnerable thing I could ever done. I got onto a live and I'm talking about it. And as soon as that 10-minute live, and it was only 10 minutes, but it seemed like it was forever in the moment. And I get off of that live and it felt like I had this huge rock on my chest. I couldn't breathe, but I knew, and I remember messaging people out, and Kimberly, you were one of them. Lindsay, I think you were in Vanette. I think all three of you were at that time. I was like, oh my God, I just did live. And I told people about my hair pulling, and I told them how I chewed up. And everybody was just like, and I said the thing about the weight on my chest, and every single one of you had no idea I was messaging the other. And I'm sure there were a couple other people I was messaging too. And everybody came back and said, it's because you were vulnerable. And in that vulnerability came growth. I grew from that because I wasn't scared anymore. I didn't care what people, like if people were going to pick on me anymore, because that was a big thing with my mental health, was I cared what other people thought of me. And we have learned so many times, anybody else's opinion of you does not matter whatsoever. It doesn't. Oh, you think I'm ugly? Oh, well, you don't like pink hair? Tough, because I do. And that's how I stay true to myself. And I continue to face that vulnerability and I think mentally my thing goes, okay, so I showed up vulnerably at this level. Now I need to show up and boost my vulnerability a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, because what I noticed is every time I got a little bit more vulnerable, I had more growth. And I'm not talking about growth just in business, but growth within me. I was able to start breaking free of my fears. I would start being able to break free of my self-doubt and, all the other personal development things. The other thing I would say too is decide on the ultimate message that you want people to learn from you. Like Kimberly said, people know that from me, like, even if I just sat here, you would know that I would be that person that says, go be you. And Jeanette taught me that too. Like, you do you, boo, you know, and you just keep showing up and know what's true to yourself, and know, like, what is it that you want people to learn from you? Is it that you want them to love themselves more? Do you want them to feel good about themselves? Do you want them to feel okay about talking about their own struggles? You know, like I said, I'm in health and wellness, right? But I also talk a lot about mental health. And that is a huge thing for me, is that, yes, I'm helping people with my business, but even like recently from the podcast, or even my TikToks that I do, because I get very vulnerable over there. I've had people come up to me and say, oh my God, I have the same disorder. And I didn't even know. I didn't even know that there was a word for it. And what they don't know is that I'm on this end in tears, because it hits me right in the heart. That the fact that because I was vulnerable, because I put my story out there, because I let somebody know that they were not alone in their struggle, that fills my heart. And it just, it does. It makes me emotional to know that we can make such an impact. So never give up on showing up, and have a cause that is beyond your business. And always remember that one thing that was always burned in my brain from the wonderful Kimberly Olsen is always remember that you're ordinary. Somebody else
I learned that from Lindsay. Lindsay.
See it, yep. it trailed.
Yeah, I say that all the time. Well, actually, I haven't said it in a while, so thanks for the reminder. But Lindsay taught me that. She heard it from somebody.
That was 2 years ago. I heard you say that, and it was like, oh, yes.
Yes, because like we're home, right? And so like, how do you like take your ordinary life and share it and make it extraordinary? And yeah, I love like that piece about the vulnerability for sure. And you know, I think, you know, one of the questions that was brought up was like, okay, but maybe like this is all new to me. Like I'm not an expert in something, or maybe you've had a career in some, you know, like I was working with a coaching client, and she's been like killing it in the nursing field. Like she travels all over and does these big audits in hospitals. And then she comes on here and we do this session, and she's in tears. She's like, I don't even know. I don't know what I'm doing. And I was like, oh, hold on. I feel some energy here. Let's work through this. So tell me what's going on. She's like, I suck. She's like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I haven't been bad at something in 20 years. And I was like, that's because this is new for you. And guess what? It's time for growth. And you can absolutely do this and figure this out. So it's to say, it's okay to suck for a little bit, but you have to figure out what are you going to become the expert at through the process of growth. And then guess what, guys, you literally just show up that way on social media. I think some of us are waiting for someone to like certify us, like, okay, you now get to be the clean eating expert, or you get to be somebody who specializes in helping with nutrition-based skincare, or you get to be the expert in building a large organization and getting mamas making money online, right? Bringing mama home, you know, back with her kiddos. There's no one who's going to do that. And I don't remember the author's name of Magnetic Sponsoring, but he talked right at the beginning about the alpha dog. He said that when you walk into a room at an event, you automatically look to see who's running that room. Like it's human nature to look, where's the alpha dog? Who's running the show? And you know what? When I was able to grow my audience so quickly, and all of you've grown your own organic audiences, the reason why is because we in our own way said, this is who I am. This is what I believe, and I'm going to own this space. And I'm not pretending to be, the doer of all things and know all things. I'm going to tell you, oh yeah, I just learned this last week. It's awesome. You should try it, right? Oh, look at this app I found today. It's so cool. It makes awesome stories. But there's such an attraction to that, where you are literally, you have that confidence, you have that posture, because you've given yourself permission to say, I'm going to own this space, and this is me, and this is how I'm going to show up. And so I want to encourage you, if you haven't been great at something, or maybe you've been rocking it in the corporate world and you're trying to figure out entrepreneurship, you're going to suck at first. I think all of us can attest to that. Not one of us just like were amazing. I mean, I was horrible. I was doing like side braids. I was like, hi, I'm going to teach you how to do a side braid. I didn't even know how to do a side braid, but I'm like, oh, I sell shampoo, I'm going to do a side braid. Like it was so bad. And then I was like, that's not who I am. This feels gross. I don't like this. And then I was able to pivot and, find a better fit. So are there any other questions that popped up that you ladies caught while I was chatting?
Well, I think Michelle also asked, how do you, what was it? I just saw it.
That's a good question.
How do you set that tone for yourself? I got a little Something I shared in my group yesterday that I think is so powerful, because we're often in that self-sabotage space. We're connecting meaning to things that we shouldn't be doing. How often, and ladies, you raise your hand if this is you. How often do you, friend someone and don't get it back? Send somebody a message after they've accepted your friend request, wishing them a good day, and you don't get anything, or you get the proverbial thumbs up. Don't use thumbs up, people. That's like the social media F off. Mm-hmm. Teach people that's what it is. Don't do it. Or you send, somebody asks you for information and you ask them questions about to get to their pain points, and then no response. But how often do you say, that must mean, well, that must mean they don't care. That must mean I'm no good at this. That must mean they don't like me. That must mean that I'm a failure. That must mean that I'm not meant for this business. That must mean I'm doing it all wrong. No, it doesn't. That must mean that they're busy. That must mean that their kids are around them, so they can't possibly answer, and they're not going to remember to go back. That must mean that their work schedule, they're on overload right now and just can't, they've got to compartmentalize and keep that over here. That means that they're not ready today. Be careful when you say that must mean. This, what we've got between our ears, is a fragile space. Don't fill it with the negative. Get yourself into the positive. I tell you, 2 weeks ago, I fell into that hole, and I work really hard not to go there. I know what I need to do not to go there, and I fell into the hole. I always say, well, the devil found my weak spot. I might have even reached out to some of you guys, I don't remember, but 2.5 days I was stuck there. And the meaning I put on it, because I took ownership that it was my choosing to feel that way. The meaning I put on it was, yep, the devil found my weak spot again. I spent 2.5 days telling the devil to get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. I don't need you. Call it whatever you want. But I missed the meaning. Instead, I think it was my creator telling me that I needed to prune this person from my life.
Oh, wow.
That I needed to not put myself in the situation where I'd have to think about what I was thinking. That then brought on the self-doubt. And here's a key for you. Oh, I've got my own goosebumps. Excuse me. Anytime you are taken out of your flow, it can take up to 3 days to get back into flow. So if I lost 2.5 days, what I really lost was a week. Because I was putting the wrong meaning on something that didn't even matter. So
absolutely.
Watch your meaning. Watch your meaning. All right.
Well, and Rachel said something about team members. And I was just thinking about this when you were talking, is how many times do you have, like, maybe a team member isn't doing something and they're not performing or showing up. And what do we think? Right away, we say it's us. I'm not a good leader. Oh, I'm not doing enough trainings, or, oh, maybe I'm not motivating them, or we instantly put it on ourselves, right? Or even with our kids, and we're like, oh, I'm not a good enough mom. I mean, how many times have I messaged you guys? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Is there a book I can read? And like, we put it on, we just instantly go to that, like, self-sabotage. And I was listening to Les Brown the other day, of course, I was running, and he said, the battlefield, you guys, is not you and your teammates and people you're prospecting. And someone said, what about crickets? And people, I'm trying to get them to order and they're just crickets. It's not that. The biggest struggle you have is right here in your own mind every single day. And that's why being a guardian of your thoughts, and like you said, okay, I'm seeing that this is not me. This is not who I am. This is not who I want to be. Like, how amazing is that? I'm sure years ago you wouldn't even have realized it and would have went into a downward spiral, right? We can all attest to that. And just to be able to catch that, right? And so for you guys, don't take it in like it's you. If it's your team or someone's not responding, like for that said, they're probably busy. How many times have you opened a message and then a kid needs something? Elise wants me to go with her to the bathroom every time, like just to stand there. I don't get it. But like how many times have I opened a message and set the phone right down for her, came back, it's gone. And you're on the other end going, oh, Kimberly ignored me. No, I didn't. I promise. Like I just opened it and moved on. So I think that's important to just remind yourselves, guys, like whatever it is, like stop taking that on. Like stop taking that on. Give yourself a break and say, like Vanette said, maybe it's this instead. Ooh, maybe it's this instead. And start to give, turn it around to a positive, I think is really important. Yeah. Watch the stories that you're telling yourself. Absolutely. Now, some of the people, and I get this question a lot, so I'd love to hear your guys' insights on this, because you're all great at this. They love everything we're saying, but they want to know, how do they take what we're talking about of being genuine, offering value, creating that place online, to converting into real customers and business builders? Like, how do you even go from offering value to actually getting someone to say, I want your thing? Can you guys share any insights, any like strategies, anything that you teach with your own people?
I'll go first on that
Okay.
one. And it's gonna sound really crazy. Stop going for the sale. Stop going into that messenger going, I'm gonna sell her this because she's gonna love it and it's gonna change their life. And like it, because what you're doing is you're focusing on the money. And if you focus on the money, you're focusing on the wrong thing. If you're focusing on them, what's their struggle? Like so many times I get, and I'm sure you guys all do too, every single day, you friend request somebody and the first thing that they do is they're, hey, how are you? Here's my company and here's my link. Do you even know what my pain point is? Could I use, like, I know I openly say that I don't cook, but I do have a husband that cooks. So there's certain companies that I might not be interested, but he might be interested, I think that people fall short of figuring out what that pain point is to then take the product or service that you have to connect it to there. And rather it's just, it's all about, and what I do when I'm coaching is I tell people, I'm like, when you do that, it's all me. How am I going to get the sale? How am I going to make money? Me. But if you turn around and it's all you, you're focusing on them, you're focusing on their pain point, the connection and the relationship. That's where people get to get even more that know, like, and trust factor, where they don't feel they're being convinced. And here's the other thing I tell my girls too. You're not a product pusher, you're an information pusher. If you're just allowing them to get information from you and divorcing the results of, because sometimes if you go into the messenger and you're thinking sale and then they say no, not right now, or like you said, that they get busy. And she is right about messenger, by the way, because if you leave your phone unlocked, Facebook is evil and will like bounce messages, like the bubbles from each other, to where it might look like I looked at your message, but I didn't, because it just switched it, and it's really mean. But so thank you, Facebook. But I sucked for 3 years at doing all that stuff. But when I started to really connect with people and focus on them rather than how am I going to sell it to them, that's when things really started opening up. And I stopped with the connection to if they bought something, because there's honestly, and like you said, it seems like it might be counterintuitive, but it's the part of when you say, hey, if it's not right now, if it's not for you, not a big deal, and you actually mean it, people actually want more from you. They're like, wait, why doesn't she care if I buy this? I need this.
I always forget to send the link, like all the time. Right? And they're like, hey, could I go ahead and order? And I'm like, oh yeah, because I've trained myself to just truly like let it go. It is hard though. It is not easy. So if you're new to this and you're like, all I can think about is the sales or my uplines that, coming at me, it is a discipline. It takes some time, but it's almost like, Alicia, it's almost like saying I get paid for offering value. Like I get paid for serving, like pretend like you are just putting deposits in your bank account for every person you connect with. And even sometimes it's sending them, you know, a tagging them in a group with a unit, or sending them a video, or saying, hey, I heard this awesome podcast, or, ooh, would you see this cool, you know, little guide on losing weight in holidays? Like, it's just those little things that every little thing is like a deposit in your bank account. It's not real, but it does equate to that eventually. So it's like shifting your mindset that you don't get paid to sell your thing, right? You get paid to share and offer value.
Exactly.
Right along with what Kimberly just said. This is like a perfect transition. It's like on my mind.
I know, where am I?
You cannot skip steps. You cannot go from, hey, this person just showed up in my life and I'm closing them into my business. And so think about it. I love real life examples, right? Have any of you can let me know in the chat, tried to force yourself to fall asleep?
Oh,
You're like,
worst.
I'm going to sleep now. Okay. You can't. It's so hard to get from I just laid into my bed to I'm forcing myself to sleep. But here's what you can commit to doing. You can commit to lying very still with your eyes closed. How easy is that step? I'm going to lie here with my eyes closed. I'm not going to force myself to go to sleep because I can't get right there, but I'm going to lie here with my eyes closed. That is the step that you can take. And chances are you lie there still with your eyes closed, you're going to fall asleep.
Yep.
It's when we're stressing about it that we don't. And the same thing is with when you're building your business online. Oh my God, these people are like every night. Okay, your goal tonight is to lie there with your eyes closed. Now, I want you guys to message me and tell me how it went.
Love it.
But in marketing, I like to tell people, invite people to take the next step with you. Don't invite them to like get into a marriage or a relationship with you. Invite them to take the next step. So like Kimberly's saying, imagine you're getting paid to deliver value. If I'm putting together a Facebook Live, my next step is not, hey guys, at the end of this live, make sure you comment below so you can join my team. Like, I'm ready for you. Your next step is to invite them to something else. Like maybe you have another piece of information for them. Maybe you're saying, hey, if you'd like to hear more about my struggles in getting started in the business, in entrepreneurship, comment below. And I would love to tell you about the 3 biggest lessons I learned when I got started. You're taking the next step. Comment below if you want 3 things that, I learned, my 3 favorite stories apps, whatever, because Kimberly's always got such beautiful, fancy stories, right? She's taking the next step. She's not like, hey, by the way, sign up tomorrow for my class or join my team. She's allowing them to take the next step. And if you think about your business always in moving people through the process and not skipping steps, and you're doing what Alicia is, you're learning about them, you're finding out what their pain points are, they're raising their hand, they're telling you they want to hear more from you, and you're not coming at them with commission breath, they will be more likely to sign up and buy from you.
Yeah, it's like the opposite. Yeah, it's the opposite. It's truly the opposite. And I think we've all could say, like, when we were trying to make like the convincing piece, I was horrible, and I would get anxiety around it. Like I'm like, this person's supposed to sign up, and then I would like, you know how it's like an ex-boyfriend thing, like, or whatever, but where you like know you shouldn't text them, but you do it, like that, where you're like, oh, like you find yourself like texting them, not the boyfriend, but the prospect, and you're like, I know that they said they need time to get back to me, but let me just one more. And like, you like feel possessed. 2, like that person, we did talk about that. Maybe, I need to follow up and invite him to our next, thing we've got going on. The next step, right? So it is so much more fun to build your business this way, you guys. So if like, I love, and you guys have seen me in action, like I love building my team and my business. But I'm not every day going, all right, time to build. Like, I'm not doing that at all. I'm like, okay, what could I create? Okay, what do people need? Like, what would be fun? Like this, like we're doing this because we really realize like we need to have like a conversation around this and a place where we can all come together and be here for each other, because most of the stuff online isn't positive, and we want to talk about something that's meaningful to us. Well, we're not recruiting you. We're not here to recruit anybody. So when you do that, do you think this is fun for us to get together and do this? Absolutely. Do you think it fills us up? Absolutely. So imagine you could look forward to social media and you could look forward to putting out great content and engaging with people and going, wow, this person's excited to work with me. Yay. Right. Versus I got them, or I closed them, got another one. It's just a different energy. And you honestly, you guys, you won't be able to keep up with the leads. So you won't even, like someone said, getting crickets when following up over and over again, you won't even get there. You'll have so many people to connect with. You won't even be able to keep up. That's why we have things like Project Broadcast, because you're like, I can't keep up with all the leads, because everything will shift for you. Vanette, were you going to say something?
Well, and just not so everybody thinks it's going to immediately happen. So I had a great May and June. Fantastic. Well, guess what? It's been a little slower of late. That's part of the ride, of the ride. So don't think that, I just don't want anybody thinking, oh, okay, it's just going to be glorious. No, it takes work. Every time your upline says, or you hear someone in the industry say, master the mundane, it is true. Doesn't matter if it's in your home business. It doesn't matter if you're a coach. It doesn't matter what you do. There's up and down, but how much more fun is it when you feel good about it? When you enjoy it, when you feel like you can keep giving versus waking up in the morning and dreading some of the things you've been told to do. So I think that's even bigger. And it all takes time. I'm not Kimberly, I'm not Alicia, I'm not Lindsay. My journey is going to be on my own time. And that's okay, because it's going to be worth it.
I love that so much. And will you actually, Vanette, will you kick off, if you're cool with it, one last piece of advice, just like if you could say to the girls on here, I think it's mostly girls, but slay her way, so we'll assume, but if you could say to them, what's just one piece of advice for you to lean into what we just shared today and to be able to be on that, begin that path of really building your dream business?
Okay, when you're feeling the fear, it's not a bad thing. Go toward the fear, because the sooner you break through it, the sooner you get to the next thing. So breakdowns are okay. They do bring the breakthroughs we all talk about. Setbacks are setups. Your mess is your freaking message.
Amen.
It's your gift. It's your gift. So let people hear it, because there's people waiting on you. People whose lives need change. And don't be selfish and keep it to yourself. Let it out, because it's going to help somebody.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. Alicia, what would you say is kind of a takeaway piece of advice for everyone on today?
Okay. So I got kind of a twofer. So one, I'm going to add on to what Lindsay said, because she's like, you don't just meet somebody and go and get married. Take them to dinner first, woo them, get to know them a little bit. And another big thing is to add on to what Vanette just said is, honestly, I couldn't do anything that I've done thus far without you guys and without having people around me. And it just doesn't have to be your network marketing team. Get to know other entrepreneurs. When I first met these lovely ladies, we were all in different companies, you know. And what did I write down? Oh, and make sure that at least one of them is going to call you out on your BS.
Oh, that's a good one.
Thank you,
You've all done that. Yeah. So you've all done that for me. And that it's true. You do need someone who's going to give you that tough love. Absolutely. I love that. All right, Lindsay, how about you? What would you say?
I love what Alicia said about get around people that are going to inspire you. You need mentorship. Every single time that I've had massive growth in my life, I've had mentorship, either in a coach, either in a strong leader, in, a network marketing company, or a trusted advisor, a program that I've taken. You can only go as far as you know how to go. And you need someone to take you on the path to go farther, the person who's already gotten the results that you want and where you want to go. And the second part of that is consistency. It is the most underrated superpower on the planet, because if you are consistent, you are like standing out from 99% of the people out there who are not, who come and go and they go, oh, this isn't working for me yet. And then they disappear for 6 months. And guess what? No one trusts them then.
Mm-mm.
And if you're the person who stands there like the lighthouse and you show up and you do your thing and you're in your zone of genius and you're aligned and you're sharing your passions and you're consistent, you stand out.
Mm-hmm. You absolutely do stand out. I love that. Thank you so much. I was actually going to say light, so that should be my word too. So I had a selfish motive to start these series, is because I'll never forget the day that we realized that there was a global pandemic. You guys all remember that. It's kind of like 9/11, like you remember where you were. And I remember that it was that Monday, and I was so full of fear because I had just launched my, an online program, and it had done really well. But then I thought, oh my gosh, no one's going to have money, and they're not going to invest in this. Like and I had brought on staff, and like, it's all going to crumble, right? It's all going to crumble. And I sat with it for about a day. And then this nudge from God, he was like, no, it's all how you look at it. You have to be the light for people. If you're the light for people, they're going to be drawn to you, and they're going to want to work with you. And they're going to say, okay, good. She's strong. She's steady. She's the lighthouse, like Lindsay just said. So my selfish motive for putting this together is because if we're all watching this, it's like, we'll probably have about 1,000, 2,000 eyes on this when it's all said and done. If you all go out and start implementing what we talked about today, and you start being that light on social media. So you're not bashing whoever, and you're not saying stuff about politics, and you're not like, the economy sucks, masks or whatever. And you're like, no, what can I put on here to inspire and connect and engage? Like, what could I do where someone sees it and they go, oh, I feel good when I'm around her content. If we all do that, then the people around us are going to start doing that. Like our teams, we're the leaders of our teams, right? Or your kids or your spouse. So if we all do that, we can literally shift. We can literally shift the entire energy, at least in our world, right? In our orbits. And we have that choice to do that. And so I would say my advice to you is to be the light, be the pillar, be strong, be that type of person where when they see your name on social media, they go, oh, I can't wait to see what she shared. Oh, she's live. Oh, I always feel so good when I'm around her. I'm going to go watch her live. When they're in Messenger, they're like, oh, she messaged me. What did she say? Be that person. Be that person. And if you do get that kind of snarky thing, mentor them back. Hey, you know what? I realize we haven't connected before, and I see that you're in network marketing too, because you're sending me your link. Guess what? I do trainings on, how to kind of get more traction with that. If you want to know more about it, I'd love to send it to you. If not, no worries. Good luck to you. Happy holidays, right? Like, look for ways to just be the light, love on other people. And I know it sounds so cheesy, but I really believe if we can all start doing more of this, and we can, have that ripple effect, we can not only just change this industry, but we really can change the entire feel and culture of social media. So yes, be the light. Thank you so much, you guys, for being on. And we do want this to be a series, so you can expect us back, more conversations around, not the coffee table, but the Zoom table. More conversations together. Oh, good. Okay, we've all got something. Vanette. Okay, good. Cheers. Cheers to us changing this industry, disrupting this industry, changing how we're showing up on social media, and leaving people better. Like Vanette says, always leave people better than how you found them. All right. Thank you for being on, everybody. Love you guys. Throw a tag in your stories and tag us, and we'll shout you out. Have a good one. Bye.